is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are San Diego.
Wednesday baseball, we slide into the series finale, and oh my, catch the action, Padres and Marlins. Miami's Martin Prado on a blistering pace of late. He's hitting .333, that's third best in the National League. And Matt Kemp's career has featured a lot of good fishing, especially against the Marlins. He continues as the Padres' top home run and RBI producer. And we welcome you to Petco Park. It's a day game. I love day baseball. Why don't the Padres? They played 21 day games and they've won only 3 times. Explain that to me.
That's one of those questions, Dick, honestly, that I can't answer. I've talked to managers and coaches, and they agree with me. There's no really one point to put your finger on. But, hey, a crucial win today because you don't want to get swept. And hopefully people can go home happy today after a Padre victory.
How about last night? John Jay again. He's both pro and anti-double.
Absolutely. And you know what? Within baseball, there's not a lot of prototypical leadoff guys. Well, you look at John Jay, 22 doubles this season. That's tied for first in the National League. Runners in scoring position, 5th in Major League Baseball with a .408 average. And how about his defense?
That's the anti right there.
Exactly. And, you know, he doesn't have blazing speed, Dick, but we've talked about this. It's all about the first jump of the ball off the bat, covering a lot of ground. Performance in action in the background, it should say John Jay, performance in action. That's our center fielder and leadoff guy for the Padres.
And it's going to be interesting focusing on young 23-year-old Luis Perdomo. It's his 3rd start. He gets better with each opportunity.
And the ceiling is very, very high for the Rule 5 kid. 3rd start, 5 2/3 innings pitched with 7 strikeouts in Colorado. Now, he had a heads up because Andrew Castro really wasn't feeling well in the bullpen, but to have that mindset and enter that game in Colorado and put up those numbers, I tell you what, things are looking good for Luis Perdomo.
And it looked good last night as Ryan Schimpf. Boy, it is hard to get all those vowels. We need to buy a vowel in there.
We can
somewhere.
do that.
Well, nevertheless, he makes his Major League debut, and he busts out with a double in his first Major League at bat. How good is that? We'll get his feelings. That's the story continuing. He's back in the lineup tonight, and we return to Petco in a moment.
double as the first career Major League hit for infielder Ryan Schimpf. And it was only 24 hours ago that he was playing in AAA El Paso, got the call up, and here he is. This was him after his first Major League debut with the Padres last night.
Something I'll never forget for sure. Just try to be me up there, get a good pitch to hit hard, and he left the curveball up and barreled it enough to get it down in there and right field to get a double. So it's definitely something special I'll never forget for sure. Pure adrenaline. I haven't even had an ounce of caffeine, which is impressive. So, but yeah, definitely still running a little adrenaline for sure, and get to bed and got an early game tomorrow and come back and try to get a win.
Well, he certainly earned it, and will start today at the hot corner as well. When we return, Padres and Marlins. It's the finale, and it's a matinee. Let's make some magic. Coming up.
Pinnacle on the Park. Make your new home here. Visit pinnacleonthepark.com for details. By Petco, your complete pet store. And by Volkswagen. Visit your San Diego County Volkswagen dealers to see their award-winning lineup of cars and SUVs today. Sparkling Wednesday afternoon in our great city as we remind you in the game today, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge to benefit prostate cancer research. So far, after just 2 days of this series, nearly, and other games around Major League Baseball, $360,000 has been raised. You can make a pledge. Go online to homerunchallenge.org. Blue skies, bright sunshine, and the Padres in their way back Wednesday uniforms ready to go to work. The uniforms worn by San Diego from 1991 to 2001. And here's the Marlins lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Ichiro is in there today, so we'll see the star outfielder of the Marlins leading off. Then it's Prado hitting 333. Look at the 300 batting averages there. 347, 333. Yelich 318, 314 Ozuna. Then Justin Bour, he gives you some power. Then another 300 hitter, Real Muto. Echeverria hitting 8th is Rojas, and then the pitcher Nicolino.
All right, Luis Perdomo, the Rule 5 right-hander on the hill today. He's got the 4-seam, the 2-seam slider, and changeup, mid-90s. He's got that live arm, and opportunity is knocking. He's come out of the pen nicely in Colorado. We talked about that. He needs a good, quick, clean, crisp first inning.
Yeah, that's really imperative. Good point. And he'll have to face the superstar Ichiro, who is closing in on that 3,000 hit mark here in the major leagues. Only 23 more, and the Japanese press and media are bombarding Petco to follow his every move. And the first pitch of the game just misses ball 1. Ichiro hitting .347 this year, 42 for 121. No home runs, but he can go deep. Chops that one out in front of the plate. That's going to be a tough play. And Norris, if he had let it roll, it was going to kick foul. It hit that grass, and he decided to go for it, and unable to get Ichiro, and that's going to be a scratch hit. He's now 22 shy of the 3,000 mark. Well, they're also, of course, they're keeping track of the hits in Japan and the hits in the United States, and with that hit, he has the same total when you combine his entire career as Pete Rose. I just personally feel that what is important is what he does in Major League Baseball here, and his attack on the 3,000 hit mark. So few have gotten there is what's really important to baseball, but of course to his homeland, to even have his name there associated with Pete Rose, it's more than something special.
And he has covered the whole spectrum his big league career. We just saw that little dribbler out in front of home plate, and Dick, as you mentioned, he can turn on one and send it out of the ballpark as well.
Still has the good speed. In fact, he's stolen 6 bases. That's more than any Marlin, and he's only played about half the games. First pitch to Prado's in for a strike. He's kept himself in fantastic physical condition. Ichiro hasn't gained an ounce in his 22 years in professional baseball. Has a very strict routine: diet, sleep, physical activity. Prado rips one up the middle, and Perdomo's greeted with an infield hit and a sharp single by Prado, who is the 3rd best batting average in the National League and hitting .424 on the road, and he's got another hit away from Miami. The Padres defense is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Melvin Upton in left. John Jay, can he ever cover center field? Matt Kemp in right. On the infield, Schimpf at third base in his second major league game, with Ramirez, Solarte at second, Myers at first. Derek Norris behind the plate. Really thought that ball was going to kick foul by Suzuki. Once it hits the grass, it has a little spin when it pushes it into that dirt path. But Norris tried to make the play, and you can't blame him for the hustle. Let's go back to it.
Squibbed out in front of home plate down the first base line. Now the race is on, and
you're right there.
Yeah.
It wants to go foul.
I think there was a good chance. Absolutely, Dick.
But Ichiro says whatever. What do you say? You were in Japan. What's thank you in Japanese?
In Japanese, it's arigato.
Well, there you go. Nice to have a multilingual partner. Shot past third, and it caroms off that short bank in left field. That'll get Ichiro home as Yelich belts one the other way, and quickly, just as the Marlins have done in this series, they score in the first inning. Holding at second base was Prado. Ball would have been a double if it got down into the corner, but it caromed off that short bank in front of the box seats in Souvenir Corner.
And the Marlins are swinging early in the count, being very aggressive against Perdomo early. This is one of those as a left fielder, like you said, Dick, with that corner there. You just have to wait and see and kind of let the ball play itself out before you commit yourself too soon down that foul territory in that left field corner.
And the Marlins scored 5 in the first inning last night, 4 on the grand slam from catcher Jeff Mathis. Now the cleanup hitter, Marcell Ozuna. He's hitting .314 and shares the home run lead with 12. First inning woes of the Padres. Most runs scored in the opening frame, 52. Twins and Astros follow San Diego's failure to get through that first inning unscathed. Well, there's no hiding the fact that Perdomo at 23, only a ball experience, has given up a lot of hits. Opposing teams have been batting .382 against him, but he has shown improvement, and manager Andy Green is very high on his potential, as is Darren Balsley. He's learning under fire, isn't he?
He most certainly is. I mean, you're going to find as a young pitcher prior to this year, no higher than A ball. So in A ball, there might be one hitter in that lineup, Dick, who's a prospect. And you know what you can do there? You can just pitch around that guy. Well, here at the big league level, you're talking possibly 1 through 8 that can do some damage to you.
First and second, still no one out. A run home for Miami. And inside, 3-1. Falls behind Ozuna. The Marlins are enjoying a good season. They're 3 above 500. And Don Mattingly's team is only 6 back of Washington in the National League East. He'll be looking to hit 3-1 and fouls it away.
Prior to Ozuna at the plate, every hit that the Marlins have early on here, second pitch, 1-0, 0-1, 0-1 again. So swinging early, and this is the first deep count for Perdomo.
Padre infield like to help out the young pitcher, get a ground ball here. 3-2. Ground ball, there it is. 2 hops to Ramirez. Back to first, out of the hand of Solarte, and it's a 6-4-3 double play.
As a pitcher, you can never get down on yourself. You have to have it in your mind that one good pitch will get you 2 outs. Now, if Luis Perdomo can make a good pitch here, get out of this inning with just 1 run, and have the Padres a chance in their bottom half to tie this one up. A nice pitch, a nice ground ball.
All right, Mark, let's take a look at the keys to the game today, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, limit the early damage. Last night, 5 runs, as you mentioned, Dick, on that grand slam. 4 off of, for Mathis, 5 total. Get out of this inning with 1 run.
That'd be a moral victory, wouldn't it, after 3 consecutive singles by Ichiro, Prado, and Yelich.
And then get a lead early. Hopefully get that lead in the bottom half of the first inning for the Padres.
Yeah, when they take the lead, they're 19-6, the lead early, but the results are dramatically the other way when the other team scores first. Yeah, that's true of every team. But for the Padres in particular, the opponents have scored first 41 times, and the Padres have won just 7 times out of the 41. Justin Bour's got some heavy stick. He's got 10 home runs, and he chops that to the mound. Perdomo pounces on it and runs it to first for the out. So only 1 run, damage limited, and here come the Padres, bottom of the first. Brought to you by Toyota. The usual first three for Andy Green, Jay, Myers, and Kemp. Then Solarte slotted in the cleanup spot, followed by Derek Norris and Melvin Upton. Alexei Ramirez will hit 7th in front of the rookie Ryan Schimpf, and Luis Perdomo bats 9th. Jay, a pair of doubles last night.
And the scouting report for left-hander Justin Nicolino. He's got the 2-seam, 4-seam. He's got a changeup, slider, curveball, cutter. And one other little nugget, this guy is not a strikeout pitcher. He's not a hard thrower, so a lot of balls in play. The swinging strike rate, second lowest for a starting pitcher in the last decade, only 4%. That means if he throws a strike in the offer, only 4% of the time they swing and miss. So a lot of balls are in play against this kid.
John Jay raising his average to 286 with a couple of doubles last night. That's the best Padre batting mark. Plate umpire is Corey Blazer. Eddings, Nelson, the crew chief, and Lentz working the bases.
And Dick, that scouting report is brought to you by Scripps.
We got Scripps and Schimpf. Boy, I'm dead. We're gonna have to.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to get branded in your brain, isn't it?
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike to Jay.
I wanted to throw an R in there when I first heard that Ryan was called out.
I did. I wrote it in my book last night. I remembered him from spring training. But
I thought it was Shrimp as well.
Yeah, we probably mispronounced it all spring. Yeah, I bet he's so happy to be in that major league uniform. You could call him anything and he'd be happy. Jay swinging 3-1.
Well, as I mentioned, Nicolino is not a hard thrower. He's got to really rely on location. So the lowest average fastball. This is in major leagues. National League, I stand corrected. 88.7, so roughly 89 miles an hour. Average, that's an average on his fastball.
Full count, and down goes Jay. Well, he said he wasn't a strikeout pitcher, and of course, what happens?
Exactly.
He strikes out Jay to start the game. We're going to have to go back to spring training, don't you think?
Yeah.
Here's the Marlins defense.
No doubt.
Brought to you by the San Diego International Boat Show. And the defense reads this way from left to right in the outfield. Yelich, Ozuna, and that's Ichiro and right. Still has the good arm. Prado and Echeverria on the left side. Rojas and Bohr at second and first. And Real Muto behind the plate. Will Myers, one of the hot hitters for the Padres, but went 0 for 4 last night with a couple of strikeouts. Average dipping to 283. (2-0). So Justin Nicolino, he's only 24, high school in Orlando, Florida, and he was part of that big trade 3 years ago with the Toronto Blue Jays, where a lot of players were swapping places. High fly ball into a triangle of Marlins. In the middle is Ichiro fighting the sun and making the catch. That is a high sky today.
You got to position yourself. He's got the sunglasses, not using the glove yet. He made it look tough there.
And so with 2 out, it's right fielder Matt Kemp. There's a nice thing about Ichiro. He's promised the Hall of Fame president in Cooperstown, Jeff Idelson, that he will donate, he says, when he dies, all of his stuff, all of his memorabilia, he's going to donate it to Cooperstown Hall of Fame.
Very nice.
He carries a full-time interpreter and always has.
That's a nice gesture on his part, giving back to baseball. And I'll tell you what, he received something nice today. I got a nice little message from Scott Miller, who was on the pregame show. Ichiro received a nice gift today, a Tony Gwynn autographed bat from Tony's agent, John Boggs.
Oh, that's terrific.
Very nice.
A drive fair past third and same place. It angles off that barrier, and Kemp is going to hustle to second and makes it in time. Exactly the same spot where Yelich hit his ball, and playing well off the line for Kemp was Yelich, and he couldn't get to it quite so quickly.
Well, caught it out in front here and just stays fair. Third base umpire Nick Lentz was all over it. He had to skip a little rope himself. to get out of the way of that one.
And Kemp puts it in overdrive. And the Padres have their first base runner of the game. The 15th double this year for Matt Kemp, and he's in scoring position for Jan Solarte, hitting right-handed. The switch hitter. And he checks his swing and doesn't go. That bruised thumb knocked him out of the lineup for a couple of games.
Yeah, now if I'm a pitcher and I know that, I'm pounding a guy inside. Making him wear inside, that maybe going soft away.
Kemp at second, 2 outs. Right center field and hit well. Ball carrying out to Ozuna on the run, who makes the catch in deep right center, and the Padres unable to bring Kemp home with a 2-out double.
I think the first day of the year, if you look at who he was, we got him out there in a blowout loss, and he was a little shell-shocked that first day. I think it was just bright lights first time. It was tough for him. I don't see that look in his eye anymore, and I think a lot of that has to do with Fernando Rodney and Carlos Villanueva being really invested in him every step of the way. They're talking to him after every outing and being great teammates, great veteran presence for him, and I think he's, learning from this and growing from this. There's a lot of kids that would shrink back when they went through the amount of adversity he's gone through, but he seems to be like tackling it head on, and that's why we're optimistic for him being a big part of us in the future.
That's manager Andy Green on his young starter. And guys, I had a chance to talk to general manager AJ Preller, who was speaking to the fact that this is such a huge opportunity for Perdomo. So question for you, Mr. Mark Grant, what is the difference between a pitcher that has to learn at the major league level and one that gets the experience and gets his time and puts in his time in the minor leagues?
Well, it's huge. It's, when you think of history of baseball, Julie, and young kids who are thrown in there, it has to be the right situation, I think. Don't you think, Dick?
Oh, absolutely.
Because let's say they're on a team that's going to be a contender. Now, you're going to want the best 5 guys in that rotation to take you through September into the playoffs. Now, with the situation, I think there's a perfect situation, Julie, for a guy like Perdomo with the way the Padres are right now, because they're going to give him the ball and say, hey, yeah, you're going to learn on the job at the big league level. Now, a lot of it has to do with the personality of the individual. Will Luis Perdomo be able to handle giving up 6, 8, 10 runs possibly in an outing? It's all kind of a wait and see, but his ceiling is very, very high, I feel.
And he's getting that opportunity, and it's obvious that if you just look at his numbers, then some teams might have said, well, we tried the Rule 5 draft and it didn't work out. But the Padres see the potential that will pay off next year maybe, or 2-3 years down the line.
See, and it tells you something because of the Rule 5. Let's remember this. You draft a kid in the Rule 5 draft at the big league level, you have to keep him the whole year. And then after that full year, you can do whatever you want with him in the organization. So there you see the numbers for this season. He's relieved, he started, and he's predominantly a starter in the minor league, so he's used to that role.
Ground ball. Myers able to backhand it and scamper over to the bag for the out. So Real Muto grounds to third, and Echeverria to first. 2 quick outs here in the second. And don't you think that for a player that make the jump that he has, or less even more extreme, a high school player to go immediately to the major leagues? Al Kaline comes to mind at 18. It worked out for him, but a position player has a better chance. The pressure isn't quite as great. You're not being watched every pitch. You're getting your at-bats, and you're being judged by your defensive play. But yeah, this is about as difficult a situation as you could put a baseball player in.
No question.
Speaking of a difficult situation, as we look at Miguel Rojas, the second baseman, how about the Washington Nationals? They're coming here tomorrow night for the first of a 4-game series. They're just starting their game at home against the Cubs at 4:05, and then have to finish that game and get on a plane and head to San Diego.
That's a hang with them.
It is. Well, there's a nice 1-2-3 inning, all on ground outs as Rojas to Solarte for the out, and we go to the second. History brought to you by Geico. A night after winning the 2003 Home Run Derby in Chicago, the Angels' Garrett Anderson grabbed the MVP award of the All-Star Game. He went 3 for 4 with a homer as the American League extended its unbeaten streak over the Nationals to 7 in a row. All-Star Game and all the pregame festivities just around the corner.
And you'll be able to see that game right here in San Diego on Fox. Can't wait.
Bottom of the second, Norris leads it off with Upton and Ramirez to follow and take strike 1 from Justin Nicolino. Norris raising his average up in the past 2-3 weeks, hitting well over 300 to get it over the Mendoza line. Nicolino came up to the big club last year. His rookie season, he was 5-4 with an ERA just over 4. He starts today 2-3. Chasing is Norris, and it's 1-2. This month, hitting at a .341 pace. June has been good to a lot of the Padres. In fact, as a team, they have the second best batting average in this month, second only to Washington.
And you know, I've always felt as a catcher, I mean, that's a tough gig as it is already. If you're getting beat up, it starts to get hot in the summer. You got to wear the gear. You got to call a ball game. That stick, that shillelagh kind of slows down a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Derek Norris is some kind of strong both ways.
Out of play.
I mean, he's durable.
Well, that's how they grow them there in Goddard, Kansas.
Yes, they do. Talked to Derek a little bit earlier yesterday and talked about a little about his family history, and his dad's a mechanic and owns a garage, and his uncle is a mechanic, his brother's a mechanic, and his whole family's mechanics.
Soft ground ball deep to short. Echeverria across, and they get Norris by a couple of strides. One out here in the second, and Melvin Upton steps up.
Derek said 1 year in pro ball he was working for his dad, and he pinched his finger working on a car. And his dad said, I can't have you. He was in pro ball. You know, he's trying to help his dad out.
Yeah.
He goes, I can't have you working in the garage. You're going to hurt yourself, and it's going to hinder your career. So from that day forward, he never didn't work in the garage anymore.
Well, you'd really be dangerous with his head under the hood with that beard, you know. You better turn off
Watch
the ignition.
the fan belts. And
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Turn off the ignition. Upton hitting .236 with 8 homers. And he hits that one well to deep center field. Back goes Ozuna, and touch 'em all. Number 9 for Melvin Upton. He ties it up with one swing, and that ball was jolted off his bat. Low line drive and a tee shot to center.
Mid-thigh high on the sweet spot. Boy, that bat didn't even vibrate one bit. Driving it to the opposite field, taking it towards the beach. Good extension.
So the 9th homer of the season for Melvin Upton, ties it up at 1 here in the bottom of the second inning. And shortstop Alexei Ramirez hitting .250 comes up. Oh, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think they're going to have comfortable at-bats this afternoon against Nicolino. We mentioned the average fastball speed at 88, 89, and comfortable AB right there for Melvin Upton Jr.
Up the middle, and glove by Echeverria to his left. And there's 2 away. Number 8 is Ryan Schimpf in the batting order for Andy Green, and his first major league at bat last night took him little time to rip a double into the right field corner. There it is. How sweet that must have felt.
And this kid has got some confidence, the way he carries himself. Last night, the Marlins waking up the Schimpf. Very confident.
Well, they don't shift on the Schimpf. They play him straight up.
Oh, you got to be careful saying that one, huh?
Oh, man. Pops it up off third and out of play. It's when those high pop-ups into the lower deck, the fans, you know, they all have their hands up. I got it, and then the C parts.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody about 8 seats away able to get the carom. High drive to left field. That's going to push Yelich to the warning path and onto it for the out. And the inning comes to an end, but the Padres have tied the game on one big swing by Melvin Upton Jr. 9th home run of the season, and the Padres have won. The Marlins won.
1 here. And last night, Ryan Schimpf made his major league debut, and I'm here with his father, Craig. So what has this journey been like for you and your family and for Ryan?
Well, Danny Dad, who's ever played pitch and catch with their little boy, they always in the back of their mind kind of dream of this. But, the most important thing is that he's a kid that's always been willing to work hard and do that little extra stuff, from throwing the ball in the backyard and hitting grounders. He would stay a little longer and work it out. And he's someone that not only belongs here, but he's worked hard to get here. And we're just happy for him more than anything else.
There must have been an incredible sense of pride as you were here last night with the family and some extended family as you watched him get his first major league hit.
It really was. We'd love to see everybody go 4 for 4, but that first at bat or fielding that first grounder, to get those jitters out, it's a huge thrill, and we're just so proud of the way he handled it and stepped up there and did his job.
What did you say to him post game?
I said, not a bad hit. I talked to him about his next at bats, and the most important at bat, the lesson I've always talked with him is about it's the next at bat that matters. And but it was just a great experience, and we couldn't be happier for him. Could
you think of a better Father's Day gift?
Not at all. It was absolutely the best, and in fact, the way we found out was was definitely a Father's Day gift. We didn't get much sleep, but it was a heck of a nice gift.
Well, it's good to have you here. How long are you staying?
My wife and I, Pam, will be leaving on Friday, and his brothers will be leaving Saturday, so they're going to be here through Saturday. And his wife and daughter will be here indefinitely, hopefully a long time.
That's right. Congratulations on Kenley, Ryan's 8-month-old daughter, your granddaughter, and congratulations on your son's major league debut. Guys?
All right. Well said by Papa, huh?
That's great.
Expressing the feelings of every parent.
Ryan is such a good kid. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and he was, you could tell he was confident, but he was very, very anxious to be here, obviously, like anybody just getting called up to the big leagues.
Now here's Ichiro's scratch hit to lead off the ball game and scored the Marlins run. 3 straight singles opened the game for Marlins. Ichiro, Prado, and Yelich chasing 3,000 ever closer, and here's another tapper in front of the mound. Got to hurry, Perdomo, and he gets him by a couple steps. 2 away. 7 in a row now for Perdomo, and here's the hit. When you combine Japanese and Major League play, that equals Pete Rose. Derek Norris not risking a chance of that ball going foul. It appeared it wanted to be, and a very tough play for the catcher to make, and Ichiro's speed gets him the leg hit. Now 22 away from 3,000. Up the middle, Prado, and Ramirez has time to field and fire, and another quick 1-2-3 inning for Luis Perdomo. Middle of the 3rd. There's the newest member of the shrimp family. Just a little shrimp, baby shrimp. To the bottom of the third, the Padres and Marlins are knotted at 1 aside. And Luis Perdomo, the pitcher, will lead it off with John Jay and Will Myers to follow. Perdomo, 6 at bats, 1 hit. As a major league batsman. And he rips one to left center field over the glove of Hechavarria. And Perdomo's now 2 for 7. Delivers a single to open the third, trying to help his own cause.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, with Nicolino out there, some comfortable at-bats. Get that barrel of the head out there. Barrel the bat out in front. Let's check it out here. Just short and quick to the baseball. Not a big stride, not a lot of movement. And it just goes to prove that the pitchers are the best athletes on the field, and we saw it right there.
John Jay struck out first time, and he slices that to left. That's going to fall for a base hit. Yelich on 1 hop, and to second goes Perdomo as Jay delivers back-to-back base hits to open the Padre third.
Swinging early. Swing it, man. John Jay, we talked about him going the opposite way, even against the soft tosser, and that average against left-handed pitchers continues to rise. Before this game, hitting .342. John Jay is against left-handers.
And I love the way you do that impersonation of Harry Belafonte. It works every time. Here's Will Myers, 2 on, no out for Myers. Fly to right field his first time. And he sends another fly ball, this one to center field. Perdomo's tagging. I think this is a bluff, and certainly it is, as Ozuna's got a good arm. So Myers struggles here against the Marlins, continue the last 2 games. And with 1 away, here's Matt Kemp. Doubled his first time.
Each hitter this inning, Perdomo, Jay, Myers, swinging at the first pitch.
With runners in scoring position, a solid .333 hitter. And his June average of .333 also is the 4th best in the National League this month. Just misses. Does Nicolino?
Well, he knows that Matt Kemp loves the fastball and what's been thrown to him from right-handed pitchers, sliders away, fastballs away. Well, with the left-hander out there, he counters with the changeup. Not a bad pitch, but he misses for a ball.
Pickoff move. Rojas sneaking in behind the runner Perdomo, and that's not a bad play. Pitchers aren't accustomed to being out there in scoring position.
Absolutely.
But what they didn't count on is that man coaching over at third, Glenn Hoffman. He's got his eagle eye on that second baseman, and he hustled Perdomo back with a shout.
Telling him he's okay, okay.
Kemp, a soft foul fly, and Bohr has room fighting the sun, 2 away.
Follow Padres baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
So Solarte has a chance with 2 outs. I hope this isn't a plague that began last night. The Padres on 3 different innings had the leadoff man at second base and no one out and couldn't bring him around. First and second, no one out here in the third, and Myers and Kemp unable to get that second run in. Maybe Solarte will do the job. Fouls it away. Came up in the first inning with Kemp at second base after a 2-out double by Matt and flied to center.
Well, the camera wells are overflowing. When Ichiro's in the house, a little bit of history being made.
Center field, Ozuna is in the right spot to capture the out. Once again, no one out, a man at second, and no runs for the Padres. We've completed 3 at Petco.
things you don't really have to overly teach. You just have to get them back on track. And I sat there and said, you know what? If we do this drill, it'll straighten itself out. I don't have to go like, well, your hands are too low, or your hands are too high, or you need to do this. Like, you know, sometimes I hear all the time, and I'm like, well, duh, he already knows that. That's not the problem. The problem is that is there something I can throw at him that the body will correct itself?
As Mark Sweeney joins us, can you state that philosophy in a little different way? What's he talking about?
Yeah, what he really wants to say is that, you know, stop tinkering with mechanics or where your hands are, where your legs are, how's your setup, so many different things, because you can nitpick and get too much in your mind. Simplify it, but a lot of what Barry's talking about is trying to get your body in a good position, a good hitting position, and it comes with drills. That's the reason why you have to buy into a process and what works for every individual hitter.
And drills being off the tee and soft toss, that sort of thing?
So many things that, you know, Edgar Martinez, who's the hitting coach for Seattle, always talks about a high tee drill, getting on top of the baseball. There's so many different things, but you can't cloud it with those little quick fixes, which I think you have to battle at the big league level when you play 162 games.
So we go to the fourth, tied at 1. Luis Perdomo has been very efficient through 3 innings, only 32 pitches, and he starts Yelich with a strike. Yelich drove in the run in the first inning with a long single to left. In that first inning, Ichiro with a gift swinging bunt single, and then Prado singled up the middle. And with no one out, Yelich singled past third. It hit the barrier in left field and caromed out for a long single that drove in the run. But since then, it's been all Perdomo. 8 straight retired. Into the glove of Norris, 1-2.
Of the 3 pitches he has thrown Yelich up to this point, it tells me a lot, guys, that first pitch changeup for a strike, and that's a kid making great strides, and trusting your catcher, because I would bet, Mark and Dick, that there's not going to be a lot of shaking off today from Perdomo.
Well, that's a pretty good pitch, and Perdomo thought he had a strikeout.
Well, like anything else, even from the hitter's perspective, you want to simplify this game as much as possible. And you know, Mark, too, when you're on the mound and so many thoughts are in your head, you just want to have those short bursts of confidence. What's going to get you to that next level, whatever level that is?
That one is low, and it's 3-2.
If I'm Perdomo today, I'm going to trust Norris, puts down the signs, throw that pitch, because that will also develop a good rhythm. Get up there quickly, get in that rhythm, find that release point, find those mechanics, keep them in order.
Slap foul.
Well, with that rhythm working quickly, from the hitter's perspective, when a pitcher works quickly, it's intimidating.
Oh, the rhythm is going to get you.
It's going to get you, especially in Miami.
Believe it. That's why I brought it up.
Are you yelling at me?
Boy, you're sensitive today. Is it just the day?
It's a day game.
Oh, your metabolism
It's
doesn't get tough until the evening.
It's carrying over from pick the stick.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Perdomo. 9 in a row retired. And it's time for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Rams Trucks.
John Jay with the leather. We know what he can do in the leadoff position, but guys, he was playing on the first base side of second base, 100 feet to track it down and take away extra bases. Pulls the parachute. Oh yeah.
Also, what comes into that play, the awareness when you're on that warning track and how much further you have in that nice slide. Really came into play.
Hey! But unfortunately, that was an off-speed pitch and not a fastball, and Ozuna hit by a pitch will take first base. It was a changeup.
Almost looked like a split finger. Right off the left shoulder of Ozuna.
If you're going to get hit in the shoulder by a pitch, that's the one, the off-speed. But even at 85, leaves a nasty little bruise.
We always say, too, if you're a youngster out there watching the game, turn away from that pitch. If you see it coming at you, turn away and have your back or your shoulder take the brunt of that.
That brings up Justin Bohr. Tapped one out in front of the mound, and Perdomo threw him out first inning. one away. Bohr last year had a decent season, 262, and hit 23 homers. It's his third year since coming up through the Marlins organization. He was a Rule 5 pick.
Came from the Cubs,
Yeah.
right?
Cubs picked him in the 25th round back in 2009. And then he was available, couldn't make the 40-man roster, so the Marlins tagged him in 2013. And 2 years in the bigs, hitting 265 with power.
Well, if you think about it, Anthony Rizzo was probably blocking Justin Bohr.
There's the open left side, and he beats the shift. Advancing 90 feet is Ozuna. And the Marlins have something brewing here in the top of the fourth.
Boy, Mark Sweeney, you talked about Edgar Martinez and high tee drills and hitting on top of the baseball. Looks like that's what Justin Bohr does there. You know, sure, a big kid like that, boy, the extra base hits are great, the home runs are great, but this pitch is away.
Yeah, and going the other way too, which I think is really good against that shift, which really surprises me. When you're pitching away and you have that shift for the pull, you would wonder why they're not pounding him in just a little bit and forcing him to pull the baseball.
He did that earlier in the series too, didn't he, Mark?
Yeah, he had that hard line drive to left.
That brings up the catcher, JT Realmuto. He grounded to third his first time. Hitting 300 on the season, the catcher. Marlins as a team hitting 269. That's third best National League behind Colorado and Pittsburgh. There's a shot to right. Kemp has to play it on one hop. Here comes the runner around third, and he will score, and on to third and on to second, and everyone advances. Realmuto drives in the tie-breaking run. It's 2-1. Ozuna hit by a pitch, comes around to score, and Bohr hustling to third, and with the throw all the way to the plate, the batter Realmuto able to take the extra base.
Well, back-to-back hits the opposite way. Realmuto going the other way, but Ozuna doesn't really get a good read off of second base with this. Lenny Harris ends up winding him up. I think Matt Kemp saw that and had an opportunity to throw him out at second at home plate, but unfortunately the runners advance.
So a hit batsman and a couple of singles, and the Marlins claim the lead 2-1. Here's Echeverria, and they're going to load him up and take their chances on Rojas. This will be the first walk for Perdomo. And as they do the 4 wide ones, we'll remind you that today's game is presented by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. RBI by Realmuto is his 19th of the season, so Echeverria joins his teammates. Bases full for the number 8 hitter, Miguel Rojas. He grounded to second the first time.
That took about 27 seconds, the 4 wide ones. So do you just send him on his way, or do you throw the 4 wide ones?
You got to throw the pitches.
I agree with you, Mark Sweeney.
Come on. I think the change is going to be made. I feel it coming. They're just going to try to save a half minute by saying, you want to walk him, just give a sign and put him on.
I think hitters then should come up to the plate with a 1-1 count if they want to speed up the game.
No, as a pitcher,
I've heard that before.
I thought you wanted 1-2 count.
That'd be even better.
Rojas hitting only 186 against right-handed pitching so far.
Well, if you ever needed a ground ball, it's right here. Hey, Perdomo's been throwing some good changeups.
And Rojas spins out of the batter's box, looking back into the dugout. Maybe there was a sign, a squeeze sign, and he missed it.
Well, talking about a big situation to grow up. Luis Perdomo with 1 out. Big situation in this game.
In the dirt, a changeup. And we talked about it last night. This Marlins bunch is going to score you a lot of runs, and that's with their top power guys, Giancarlo Stanton, in a dismal slump. There's the 63% fastball percentage for Perdomo, and of course they lose D. Gordon, the National League batting champion a year ago, suspended. Oh, Rojas going for more than a single up the middle.
Boy, good arm side run on that last pitch. He's touched 97 this afternoon. It's a four-seamer with some movement in, tying him up.
Pitcher on deck. Center field, shallow. Well, it's going to be deep enough, though. Jay makes the catch, the tag, and coming home is Bohr, and it's a 3-1 game. Rojas with his 9th RBI on the sac fly.
Well, Dick, you touched on it. The absence of D. Gordon going on suspension last year just absolutely set the tone for this offense. And when you have a leadoff hitter that's that efficient and can get on base so much with that speed element, it changes everything when it comes to Don Mattingly's lineup. Giancarlo Stanton struggles. All of those things start accumulating, and it's not the same offense, even though they've had success this year.
Nicolino slaps it to short. Ramirez across and gets the pitcher by a stride. But on a hit batsman, a couple of singles, and a sac fly, the Marlins have regained the lead. It's 3-1. Melvin Upton with a home run. We'll see him in the bottom of the 4th.
You know what? It's really anybody. It's who hits the fairways. The rough, I've heard, is very, very deep. I like a Pennsylvania guy named Jim Furyk. He's 80-1 odds, but he finished second there in 07. Justin Rose. I think he's destined to win a major. But Mr. Jordan Spieth is hot. Phil Mickelson's also hot right now too. So you got to be long. You got to have soft hands. You got to be able to get out of the rough. But it's always the most exciting one to watch.
And excitement for sure. Tomorrow, the greatest golfers in the world going to converge at Oakmont. 116th U.S. Open Championship. FS1 continues through the final round on Sunday on Fox. You can watch it all live on Fox Sports Go. Mark Sweeney, what do you think?
I got Jason Day winning it. But I heard something interesting. I love this about the U.S. Open. See Mark McGwire, and by the way, he can absolutely maul a golf ball.
Really?
But I heard the other day that they wouldn't be surprised if the leader that won this tournament was in the +7, +8 range. That is scary.
Because it's such a tough course?
Yes.
And what I did 5 U.S. Opens, and what the U.S. Golf Association does, they condition the course to not penalize the best golfers in the world, but to find the best golfer in the world. The fairways are narrow and the rough is just horrific, and it just grades out. They go from 5 yards, and then 10 it's deeper, and then deeper, and you get in the rough well off the fairway.
You need a weed whacker to get out
you're
of there.
You're going to lose a stroke.
You know what's going to be interesting at Oakmont, and I heard Rory McIlroy talk about it too. There's different ways to play this course. He said there's some holes that you can hit a driver one day and hit a 2-iron the next day off the tee, which I think is going to be exciting when it comes down to it. This is a classic golf course.
I think McIlroy's the player to be. That would be
you
my
like that pick?
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I'm going to go with the local guy, Phil Mickelson.
Really?
Yeah, that'd be great news.
That would be great news.
Old lefty.
Yeah, the beauty of that event every year, it's the same weekend, the weekend of Father's Day. The final round's on Father's Day, and it brings so much emotion to the event because everyone on the course vying for our national golf title basically is a father, and it's a double whammy in terms of the emotions. The first one I did was at Shinnecock. You ever play Shinnecock?
No.
Beautiful course in Long Island, and Corey Pavin won with that incredible forward, and had his children there behind, and with just the emotions building to the winner, and then Father's Day, and I look over Johnny Miller, and he's got the and I'm starting now. Neither one of us can talk. We're blubbering up there in the booth, but it's really one of the great sports events. Saw fly into foul territory. Bohr can't make the play. That had tough written on it from the time it left the bat. He's going to fight the sun, has to try to make the catch going away. And fortunately for the Marlins, it lands in foul territory.
Looks like he had a beat on it. That's a whiff. Tough play, you bet.
Norris back to home plate, gets second life. Derek grounded it short his first time.
It's the best round of golf you ever shot, Mark Sweeney.
76.
Really?
Yes.
How many foot wedges?
No foot wedges. But I tell you what, I'm not good. I'm
not good.
I'm a 10 handicap, but I'm not good. There's always a phase of the game that destroys every round.
Professor, how about you?
Well, I'm not good either. What'd you say, 76?
76.
176.
How many foot wedges?
No, I played the game, the honor of the game. No, I respected the honor of the game, and I must say I was somewhat disappointed with some of the men with whom I played who were good golfers, and I'd catch them with that little foot mash going.
It's the worst.
But how can I hit a curveball and I can't hit a ball sitting right there and it's smiling at me? It already has a smile on it from my last shot.
Yeah, off the tree.
Oh, it is. That's to me, that is the toughest sport of all.
I remember I talked to Paul Azinger a couple of years ago, and he said in baseball, you guys don't have to hit your foul balls. It was a great point.
It is.
We've got to hit our foul balls, he said.
One of my good friends in the game, Mike Gallego, said, I have a book title. Someone's got to write the book for me. But they said, I have the title. He said, how to make your second shot your first. And I thought that was absolutely ideal for a golf book. Everyone wants that next shot to be the one that you count.
Here's Upton, homered his first time, and rips that one past third. Fair ball into the corner. Upton Jr. on his way to second, and he'll pull up with his second extra base hit on this Wednesday afternoon. Padres a chance to chip away at the 3-1 lead.
Well, this looked like a breaking ball because the first home run ball was a fastball elevated. You see him working underneath that breaking ball, and right down the line, Martin Prado going to his right. And that's by him. Nice hitting by Melvin Upton Jr. as he continues his good day.
You know, Mark, we talk about the front foot being down, and Giancarlo Stanton, we were talking about how he is not doing that. How about the quick leg kick from Melvin Upton Jr.? And it boils down basically, right, to where you can do whatever you want just so you get that front foot down, that timing mechanism, because he was almost like kick-starting the old motorcycle before he put that.
Yeah, there's a lot of action to it, and I don't want to go in depth with it, but when you get that foot down, you're able to track it with your eyes, but also that backside and your hips start popping at the same time. That's the reason why rhythm and timing is so important to a hitter's success. And Melvin Upton Jr. has timed up both pitches that he has hit today very well.
See if Ramirez and Schimpf to follow can bring in that run. Line to center. That's going to come on one hop to the center fielder, but holding is Upton. He can only advance to third. Had to be sure that ball wasn't caught. So first and third, the tying run aboard, and Ryan Schimpf coming up.
Boy, the station-to-station baseball, the double by Upton, and it's a fastball. And Mark, I mentioned it earlier, comfortable at bats against Nicolino, and that's belt buckle high. You could very easily work underneath that for a fly ball to center, but staying on top of it enough for the single up the middle.
Well, it's hit so hard that I think Melvin Upton Jr. had a good read on that, had to wait to see if that was going to sit.
So runners at the corners for the Padres with one out, trailing 3-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. And Schimpf, who doubled in his major league debut, first at bat last night, chance to pick up his first big league RBI. Fly ball to left, and that's going to get the run home. Deep enough that Yelich makes the catch. Tagging is Upton, and it is a 3-2 game. Schimpf has his first big league hit last night and his first RBI today.
You take a look at Ryan's swing, and very simple approach, but it works. Working underneath the baseball, you have to elevate, especially with one out with a runner in scoring position, and going the opposite way. Very impressive approach in an RBI situation for the 28-year-old rookie.
That brings up pitcher Perdomo, who singled his first time, and takes strike one.
You took him and picked the stick today, didn't you?
I
You know something we
I
didn't
can't
know?
talk about. No, I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I can't. Only the CIA knows. Witness protection program. I had to get out of my hideaway just to come up and make that pick today. Wild wave by Perdomo.
So you have Melvin Upton Jr., Dick?
No, I have Perdomo.
Oh, you have Perdomo today?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you.
I saw something shiny. I'm sorry.
On this day, you can see some of those shiny. Maybe it was one of those watches, those old. Yeah, swing that old pocket watch. Wild wave, and Perdomo strikes out. And we go to the fifth inning. The Padres pick up a run. It's 3-2 Marlins.
The first one is the most memorable. The first time you make one, it was in San Francisco, and for me it was great because my favorite player growing up was Rod Carew. Guy could just hit, and he was in that game. He must have read something that I had said or something. He brought me a bat, had signed it for me in the locker room, and it was just a great feeling to be able to make a team, but then also to have a chance to be able to meet Rod and him do that for me.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. That's from the interview with Mark Sweeney, that the players themselves, they have, just like you kids and even us older guys,
You love somebody, you idolize them, you adore what they do, and then that player then gives you a nice thank you.
Yeah, I've had the luxury of being around Donnie baseball for a long time, especially up in LA. Had him as a hitting coach, then there in the front office when he first managed. But he's a fan of the game and loves the game of baseball, and said that this has been a nice transition for him from LA to Florida, and it suits him perfectly for where he is and his way of life, which I think speaks volumes to one of the best hitters that I think a lot of people have seen in the game.
You know, he had such a good career, and it was just 1 year too short of his retirement, because the next year they ended up winning the World Series.
Yeah.
The Yankees, that is.
Well, back problems limited what he could do at the end of his career.
Ichiro, a scratch single and a bouncer to the mound. And a wild wave there. Even though he takes those swings, it's interesting this year. He's had 123 at-bats. He's struck out 6 times.
I'll mention his name to Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, and he said, it amazes me how he prepares for a game.
Slices that one towards Souvenir Corner and out of play.
How he gets ready, the stretching program that he has, how meticulous he is at the early age of 42. He is a perfect number 4 outfielder in Don Mattingly's estimation.
He's been on the DL 1 time in his big league career for a bleeding ulcer / fatigue back in 2009. Is this guy a specimen or what?
Really is.
Set the major league record, 262 hits.
And he's represented by a good friend of ours, John Boggs, here out of San Diego.
Backs away from the fastball, 2-2. Now 42 years young. From 2001, his major league profile, 22 hits away from 3,000. Career average of 314. 113 homers.
Yeah, and 10 straight years where he hit over 200 hits. That's pretty impressive.
Great admirer of Tony Gwynn. It all ties together, doesn't it? The story of Mattingly and Rod Carew. And of course, Rod Carew and Tony Gwynn were best of buddies when they went to All-Star games. They always sat at the same table. Foul tip, strike 3. There's strikeout number 7. So Perdomo gets a big scalp here in the 5th inning.
That's the changeup, down and away. Oh, a fastball, 2-seamer. Boy, the swing, it kind of looked like it might have been a changeup, but that's a 2-seam fastball.
And that takes us to our Cholula flamethrower.
Oh, after a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, I think he touched a little bit north of that. 97.
What's that, Mark Sweeney?
What? Hot sauce by Luis Perdomo. You know where I can get a
I don't know, Dragon
beer
Breath.
batted fish taco?
You just burned half of my scorecard with a
too hot for the hot tub.
Dragon
Like
Breath.
the sweat. Ow!
Ground ball pulled to the shortstop side by Prado, and Ramirez takes care of business. 2 away. That'll bring up Christian Yelich. Marlins leading 3-2 here in the top of the 5th inning, going for a sweep here in San Diego. The Padres the last few years have really dominated Miami, but this is a new look Marlins team. And they started only 6 games out of first place in the East. Yelich, an RBI single and a strikeout. Only 24 years of age, just up north of LA from Westlake. Been reading the numbers of the signees by the Padres and other teams. These young kids, 18, 19-year-old kids, the kind of 1 figure, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 figures.
Yeah. Change of life.
Padres getting them signed, and they still have some money left for maybe do some other things. And of course, the international signing market's coming up as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be exciting.
Mark, what year did you sign?
91.
And who do you remember who the #1 pick was in '91?
I don't.
We can look that.
I want to say Brian Taylor.
Oh, the right-hander for the Yankees.
Yeah. So
what round for you?
I was the 9th round.
What'd you get for your bonus?
I got a Honda Accord. Used, by the way, and I was really excited about it because I transferred from a station wagon. There was a hand-me-down station wagon to a Honda Accord.
What year was that?
It was. I was drafted in '91,
That's
but
the same year that ball came out.
Exactly. That's why I hold it. I think the Honda Accord was drafted in like '86.
2-2 to Yelich and a 2-hopper to Myers. He said, "Get out of my way, Perdomo. I've got it." And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Perdomo. Halfway mark in this one. It's a 3-2 Miami lead. Ricky Weeks against the Dodgers, and Weeks goes deep off Clayton Kershaw. Arizona with an early 1-0 lead against the Dodgers.
Yeah, typically bench players will get that opportunity on a day game. Has to be a nice moment for Weeks going against Kershaw. It was his success of late.
Of course, that's a brother of Jamal Weeks off the fist of Jay and an easy out. One gone here in the 5th, and the National League All-Star Game balloting, and they checked the numbers, and Bryce Harper out there in center field. Looks like he is the top vote. No, Anthony Rizzo at first base has the most votes at this point.
Well, a lot of votes for the Chicago Cubs, and you know the one concern I have, and I'm a huge fan of Chris Bryant, but I think Nolan Arenado,
I agree,
has to be at third base. I think everyone has to see Nolan Arenado on that main stage, because he's deserved it. Not that Chris Bryant has. He'll have plenty of them.
And Dexter Fowler is overvoted as well. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not a starting all-star outfielder.
Hey, Chicago, right? Vote early, vote often.
Yeah. It's the daily system, huh?
Vote for Will Myers.
Yeah,
He's a Padre.
Exactly right.
The fans vote for him. Pulled toward the hole. It's going to be a tough play for Echeverria, but he makes it. And Myers denied an infield hit. Well done by the Miami shortstop.
The range of a shortstop. Everybody can appreciate when you see a player each and every day make plays like this. Echeverria, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Now watch the back foot. Plant it and get behind it. Wow, that's not even with a crow hop. That's just planting the back foot. And as a pitcher, you bet.
It's like a quarterback taking his drop from center, and boom, he just off on that blast step, hitting that right foot and firing. So 2 gone. Matt Kemp has doubled and fouled out. We didn't get a chance to mention it last night, but our heartfelt sympathy to the family and friends of Earl Faison, He was a great San Diego Charger, a #1 draft pick. He went into the school system. He was a teacher and principal here in San Diego. Beautiful man, and he and I intersected at Indiana University when the Hoosiers, I mean, if they won a game in football, everyone celebrated for 2 weeks. They just used football to bide the time before basketball began in Indiana. Then they got Earl Faison, and he was like a one-man wrecking crew. He beat Michigan single-handedly, blocked a field goal, ran it back for a touchdown. It was the rare times that beat Michigan 6-0. Couldn't even kick the extra point. But he was such a special guy, great athlete, great man, and he'll be missed. Earl was 78. Tough times, you know. You live as long as I have, and every time I open the newspaper, somebody I knew and cared about and has gone off to the arena in the sky.
Those memories that are built are so precious.
Yeah. Well, he left a tremendous mark on this city and anyone who knew him. Ground ball, base hit up the middle for Matt Kemp. That puts the tying run on here with 2 away in the 5th inning. Well, here's some potential starters for the National League here at Petco Park in July. Kershaw, Arrieta, 10-1. Cueto, 9-1. Bumgarner, 8-2. All right, you're the manager. Oh, the manager has made his.
There's my choice.
Well,
we didn't ask you yet.
What do you think, Marks?
I agree with that. The dominance of both of those first two definitely speaks to that. I think Clayton Kershaw has to. He's earned it from the body of work, obviously this year, but his whole career.
That ball hit well into left field, and Yelich can't make the play. Off the wall. Here's a chance for Kemp to score. No, they're going to have to hold him at third base. And with all of that, and respecting Yelich's arm in left field, and he did make a great throw just now from deep left field, but when it went by him and off the wall, I thought maybe that extra time Kemp could get home, and with 2 outs, unable to bring him around.
Well, this Marlins defense plays a deep outfield with their depth. Solarte drills this ball. I thought it was way over his head and had an opportunity to even get out. Probably too low to get out, but Yelich thought he had an opportunity, jumping off that wrong foot and going off the top of his glove. See Matt Kemp at first base trying to read that. There's 2 outs. He's got to go. And unfortunately, he picks up the speed at the wrong time, making an easy decision for Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach.
Yeah, he eased his way to second and then put it on from second to third, and it was too late to bring him around. Maybe he thought that was going to be out. A home run. So here's Norris, second and third. Tying run, Kemp at third. Go-ahead score, Solarte at second. The Padres continue the extra base hitting. Last night collected 7 hits, but 4 of them were doubles. And today they have a home run and 3 other doubles in their total of 8 hits. Nice sharp single up the middle would play perfectly here for Norris. 1-1.
Well, you see the outfielders very deep. Osuna's especially deep in center field. That's because they feel more comfortable coming in for a baseball, and there's a lot of room to cover here at Petco Park.
Out of play.
Oh, I think Derek wants that one back. Middle in, up just a little bit.
Reflecting on the development of this inning as you see the pitch again.
And maybe cutting that ball a little bit as well.
Go back to Myers' play on the good defensive effort by Echeverria at shortstop. If that's an infield hit, then Kemp singles and Solarte doubles. But no runs here because of Echeverria's defense. Pulled foul. Padres have out hit the Marlins 8-5. A trail where it counts in that R column 3-2.
Well, what poses a problem for the San Diego Padres hitters today with Nicolino, even though they have the 8 hits, it's the changing of speeds that gives you problems when it comes to this. You pick a spot, and then him, that slow breaking ball is giving a lot of fits, getting him into better pitching counts.
Pounds it inside, 89 on his fastball.
Well, I've noticed also these Padre hitters this afternoon being aggressive early. 4 hits on the first pitch for the Friars. this afternoon. Perdomo, Jay, Upton, Solarte.
Runners lead. Kemp the tying run at third. Solarte carrying the go-ahead. Inside again. Trying to tie up Norris, and he's not biting, and the count goes full with Melvin Upton Jr. on deck. And he's got a home run and a double today and has scored the 2 runs.
Well, this is where Melvin Upton's Jr.'s success earlier in the game gives Derek Norris a better pitch to hit.
Fouled away.
Boy, he's pounding him in, isn't he? Cutter's in. Does he have him set up for that changeup away now? The cat and mouse game.
I love it.
Nicolino, let's see what the righties going dominantly with the fastball. Curveball and change about even.
Yeah, a lot of those fastballs have been the cutter variety inside to right-handers.
2 men in scoring position for Norris, a full count.
Line drive, base hit. Kemp scores. Here comes Solarte. Here's the throw by Yelich. He is in there. And the Padres claim the lead, 4-3. Derek Norris delivers a full count pitch, and he drives it to left field, and with 2 away, Solarte able to run at the crack of the bat.
Well, high curveball, and it looked like a slider action. It didn't have that depth to the pitch, but Derek Norris capitalizes on that mistake. Remember, Melvin Upton Jr. on the on-deck circle had that opportunity, and the awkward slide by Solarte, but doing the right job. Yelich throwing the ball in, and that takes the catcher on the inside part. And you can see Solarte looked like he was safe on that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Well, the Padres lead at 4-3. Well, all with 2 outs. Kemp a single, Solarte a double, and Norris with a clutch 2-run single.
So pitching coach Juan Nieves out to have a chat with Nicolino. That is some clutch hitting right there by Derek Norris. After getting a heavy dose of fastballs, cutters in. Waited on that curveball nicely, and as Mark Sweeney mentioned, that breaking ball that's up didn't have that break to it. Stays up, it flattens out. Oh, and he flattened it out all right.
Let's go back to that. When you see Solarte coming in, Melvin Upton Jr., on the on-deck circle, has to give him a visual look. See Matt Kemp also helping out. Solarte reading the catcher and sliding on the inside part. You always want to do that. You don't want to rely on the guy on the on-deck circle, but you've got to read the catcher and where that throw is going to take him.
Norris winds up at second on the throw to the plate, and here's Upton. A home run and a double, and scored the first 2 runs for the Padres. Home run number 9 on the season back in the second. Well, the Padres lead for the first time today. Line drive, another hit for Upton. That's his 3rd of the day, and Norris will score easily, and the Padres lead 5-3. All with 2 outs. Single Kemp, double Solarte, 2-run single Norris, RBI base hit Upton.
Boy, he has seen the ball extremely well, and you talk about just crushing mistakes. Going to the pull side, going to the opposite side. I would say, Mark Sweeney, he's pretty much locked in today.
Locked in because that fastball is going to right center. And that curveball was hit down the left field line. Nice day so far, Melvin Upton Jr. Keep it going.
Yeah, 29th and 30th RBIs of the season. And for Justin Nicolino, things falling apart for him in this 5th inning. So Don Mattingly out to get the ball. We'll have a pitching change with the Padres in front, 5-3.
Padres baseball, brought to you by Sequan Casino. Sign up for the new Padres club card today. By Jack in the Box, taste the Portobello mushroom buttery jack before it's gone. And by Mercury Insurance. We're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. Oh, Melvin Upton, the hitting star today, 3 for 3. 2 RBIs with a single, double, and a home run. He's a triple shy from the cycle. As Nick Whitgren, a 25-year-old, comes in from the bullpen, and pitching change is always brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
Well, we saw Nick in the first game of the series. That was on Monday. His 11th game. A fastball, curveball, and a changeup. High 80s, low 90s with the four-seamer.
Rookie right-hander, 1 year out of J.C. Ball, played at Purdue. And for the Marlins was a 9th-round pick in the draft just 4 years ago. Ramirez, a single in 2 at-bats, grounded out to short the other time. Upton at first. Out of play. Upton, the Padres' leading base stealer, with 13 and with 2 outs. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, it's a perfect time to do that. Be aggressive.
In there, 0-2. Well, while the Padres have been most generous in the first innings of games, opponents scoring more runs in the first than for any other team. The reverse of that is the 5th inning offensively. The Padres' best inning, the 5th, and it proves true again. 3 here today, and more runs in the 5th than any other.
Well, what that speaks to, Dick, is the adjustments that these hitters are making from their first at bats into their second and possibly their third. So I think Andy Green probably loves that. Alan Zinter, the hitting coach.
One ball, 2 strikes to Ramirez. Sliced down the right field side, and that's going to make it into the corner foul. Well, this uniform today, the way back Wednesday, they're calling it. Isn't that the uniform you two wore?
Yeah. 98 World Series. I love the pinstripes.
I just missed that one. I was wearing the white with the brown pinstripe. I got traded in 90.
I like those ones with the brown pinstripe.
And then the next year, 91.
They use these.
Yeah. Thank goodness for pinstripes. Made me look thinner.
Oh, Ramirez didn't like the call as he looks at strike 3. Punched out by Corey Blazer, but the Padres with a big inning, all with 2 outs. Kemp had singled, Solardi had doubled. Norris on a 3-2 pitch delivers a 2-run single to give the Padres a 4-3 lead, and Melvin Upton adds to the lead with a single to right field. And Padres have gone from 2-1 down, 3-1 down, and now lead 5-3.
Come on, Padre fans. You got to have the will. Vote for the will.
You should vote for him. Not only is taking on another position at first base, last year a center fielder to start the year. He has done a really nice job at first base and putting up productive numbers.
Be a good pinch hitter, a good pinch runner. A lot of uses for him in an all-star classic. As we go to the top of the 6th inning, and Perdomo now, pitcher of record with a 5-3 lead. It's Ozuna, Bohr, and Real Muto scheduled for the Marlins.
And that was the 70th toss for Luis. Got a 2-run lead now. Shut him down here.
Inside to Ozuna, who was hit by a changeup back in the 4th inning and scored. That inning, Bohr singled and Real Muto singled.
Well, one thing I've noticed about Perdomo mechanically, he has a tendency to fall off to the side that way. And the release point will be off at times. Let's see what he makes an adjustment here. Okay, now it's okay after the ball leaves your hand. If you're on straight line, that's one of the things Darren Ballsy talks about. Doesn't like to throw a lot into a pitcher's mind, but when he goes out there, have a straight line towards home plate. Release that ball, and then naturally your body might fall off to the first base side if you're a right-handed pitcher.
Fouled at the plate, 2-2.
Does it have a lot to do with the direction of where your head takes you?
Absolutely, no question. If your head tilts a little bit towards first base line, good point.
Heaviest part of your body. Makes sense because it has a lot to do with the transitioning of a hitter. Think about mechanically hitters. If you control your head and your vision, you're in a better body position.
Check swing, and no, he didn't go. I think Ozuna thought he had. He looked hopefully out at first base umpire Eddings.
Okay, going towards, see the head, the ball's still in the hand. Is the head starting to drift off just a little bit, maybe? Not bad right there. Looks like his whole body as a whole was going towards home plate.
And that's not good. He loses. Ozuna walking the leadoff man here to open the 6th inning.
Hey, all fans in attendance on Saturday, June 18th, coming up for the 7-10 game against the Nationals. You're going to receive a Padres fedora presented by National University. This is a great item. Great shelf life because we've seen it from years past and people still
use it. They come to the ballpark, they take their fedora.
Sorry about being a hat rack.
Stay after the game for an all-star game themed fireworks show, National Series weekend here at Petco Park, presented by SAIC.
We're not going to model these because we have too big of domes to even put this on.
But you know, that Saturday night, baseball night in San Diego, it's not only you get the fedora, but it's fireworks after the game, okay? Yep. And the pitching matchup involves Max Scherzer of the Nationals. Hey, that's a game I'd want to buy my tickets. You go home with the gifts, you get the fireworks, you're going to see Colin Ray and Max Scherzer pitch.
So once again, that weekend is presented by SAIC, redefining ingenuity. Get tickets today at Padres.com.
The leadoff walk to Ozuna brings up Justin Bohr, who singled and scored the last time.
You make a good hat rack.
Really?
Can I hang my jacket on your other hand? That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Sure it wouldn't.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
What size lid are you?
Baseball cap.
7.5. It's a big.
How about you, Professor?
7 1/4.
Really?
What are you? I don't remember that being on the scale.
Are we going Ocho?
It's like no, not Ocho, but it's like 7 3/4.
And Bochy was what, 8? Is 8?
He was a David Seeds bucket.
Fly hit well to left field. Upton drifting back and has room for the catch. Back to first base goes Ozuna. Bohr flirting with something, extra bases, 1 away.
Well, Melvin Upton Jr. in left field, he's done a really nice job. The hardest thing transitioning from a center fielder to left fielder is that ball always goes towards the line. You can see him making that adjustment with the route to that baseball. But I've been very impressed, obviously today, swinging the bat, but in left field, how much territory he can cover.
Real Muto is 1 for 2. Knocked in a run in the 4th. Pretty good genes in his family. He's built, you look at those arms, he's built like a wrestler, and his uncle is John Smith. And you wrestling fans will remember in the Olympic Games, 88 and 92, John Smith won the gold in freestyle wrestling.
I wonder if he ever faced Big Cat Ernie Ladd.
No, I don't think he was in that class.
No?
That's a different kind of wrestling. That's wrestling.
Jake the Snake.
Ernie Ladd is. That's wrestling.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Gorgeous George. Sky Lolo.
The Sheik. Remember the Sheik?
Yeah. Amazing what he hit under that rope when he got into that squared circle. You know, I mentioned Gorgeous George. Eileen Eaton was a promoter of boxing, wrestling, roller derby in Los Angeles. And when she first booked Cassius Clay for a preliminary bout, she worked on some poetry for him, and she'll never get the credit for it. But those around the scene feel that, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That all came with a little coaching from Eileen Eaton.
Really?
They lovingly called her the Dragon Lady at the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles.
I miss roller derby.
Oh, the T-Birds.
I absolutely loved it.
Call off the jam.
I'd knock you over the railing.
Oh, those helmets they used to wear, the little beanies.
Who was the toughie? Someone with the Brooklyn Bombers or something? She was in a fight all the time. Did you ever notice it was interesting about roller derby? Whenever someone went over the rail, they always went over the rail in one place where that camera was. They never went over the rail anywhere else. I just could never figure that out.
Well, they didn't have 8 cameras.
2-1 to Real Muto. That's in there, 2-2. I think we can safely say this is Perdomo's best outing as a Padre. He's pitching like he's been here 4 years.
Well, the good thing is you could have said it about his last outing, and now we're saying that again. Progression for Luis Perdomo.
He's walked Ozuna to lead off the inning. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 4th strikeout for Luis.
Well, you've seen the breaking ball with 2 strikes. That is set up because of the success of the two-seamer. Being aggressive with the fastball definitely exposes hitters to cheating on that velocity of the fastball by Perdomo. Nice breaking ball.
Oh, it'll bring it to your knees, and it was evident right there. And there's the breakdown. 84 tosses for Luis.
2 outs into the 6th inning, and embracing a 5-3 lead here at Petco. Danny Echeverria has walked and grounded out. He was intentionally passed back in the 4th inning. There's a changeup for a strike.
Dick Tuffy Brasson.
Yeah, that's
Brooklyn Red Devils.
Yeah, well, they got her first name in the place right. I just remember she was in the old days. I mean, where you didn't expect women to act like that. I mean, she'd fight a bear. She'd pushing people around, and man, make you angry. Do that to our little Susie, the skater, skating through that jam.
Looking for the one camera.
Like that bullwhip move. Just toss him. Dick Lane. Whoa, Nelly. Just misses 1-1. Echeverria.
Was it Keith Jackson that said, "Oh, Nelly"?
He did as well, but Dick Lane said it before Keith. Yeah, that was his call too. To Ramirez, but that's a tough hop and skids by him out into left field. Oh, Echeverria 2-out single. That moves Ozuna to second, so the tying run's on here for Miami, and Miguel Rojas the batter.
Well, you know, I don't think, you know, I really don't think that ball was hit that hard. I think Alexei had a chance to get in front of that ball. He did olay that one, and greater chance of stopping that one, at least keeping it in front of you by getting in front of it.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with the top spin off of that. That's the reason why he got to the side of the baseball. Looks like he's olaying it, but A lot of those infielders want to read that hop when it comes off, knowing that it was only going to be one. Just barely missed that, as we saw in our Phantom Cam.
Darren Balsley, a little pep talk to the young right-hander. So first and second with 2 outs here in the Marlins 6th inning. Rojas has grounded out and knocked in a run with a sac fly. Derek Dietrich, left-handed hitter, in the on-deck circle. Pitcher's spot is next. .91 on the fastball inside. Colorado leading the Yankees today in the 7th, 5-3. San Francisco shutting out Milwaukee 5-0 in the 4th.
You know what? I like this idea of leaving him out there. I really do. You know, this is, if you're going to be a big league pitcher, you got a 2-run lead. You got to try to preserve that lead. You've got runners on base, multiple runners at that, and you're up around 90 pitches or so. Hey, see what you're made of. See what you got.
Well, with those 100 pitches last outing, does that affect a young pitcher when you come to this point of the game?
I think it might, Mark, and you make a good point because he's not conditioned so far, you know, to have 10, 12, 15 starts where you're throwing 100 pitches. So a day game also, right? It's hot down there in that field.
2-0 fastball at 93 for a strike.
Make a good pitch here. Go a solid 6. Get out of the inning.
Bottom half of the inning, he's scheduled to hit second, so ideal spot to use the pinch hitter.
Sweeney, grab a bat.
Brandon Maurer is throwing in the Padre bullpen. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Well, you see the velocity dipping just a little bit, but you also see the movement on this 2-seamer. Both side to side and also downward.
I've seen a couple of fastballs, Mark. 97 4-seamer, 2-seamer there at 91. That tells you something. Adding and subtracting. Hey, that's some good pitch in there.
Sixth inning, 2 on, 2 out for the Marlins, trailing by 2. Smothered at the plate.
That was a good pitch. If you're going to miss, that's where you want to go. Actually, it was a strike on Fox Tracks, but you want to miss down like that.
In the inning, leadoff walk to Ozuna. He got bored, a fly deep to left, struck out Real Muto. Echeverria singles past Ramirez. And now the count 2-2 on Miguel Rojas.
Well, from the hitter's perspective, he's got a couple weapons to go to. See if he goes to the breaking ball here or 2-seamer.
Again, a foul at the plate.
I don't think Luis wants to get to that 3-2 count. But he has shown that he'll go to that breaking ball with 2 strikes today.
And you know what else I've noticed here with Perdomo? A lot of foul balls, the little choppers around the home plate. You know, Ichiro, a couple times he also struck him out, but that tells you good late movement. The hitters are topping that baseball, driving it into the ground.
Soft fly to right, long play, run for Herb. Oh, what a play! Oh, Will Myers took that right off the face of Solarte. Solarte and Myers almost in a collision course. Look at Myers, he's got the bigger glove. Took it right off his jaw. That's a big out. Runners were screaming for home plate. to Rojas.
And Perdomo doing a good job. This is a big-time situation. Could be the at-bat of the game. In and out, in. Good two-seam movement. Once again, a foul. Good action on the pitch. Another one. The breaking ball out in front takes the sting out, but we need a little defense, a little help from his friends. And Will Myers cradles it in, collides with Solarte. I think that's a big inning, a big stepping stone for Luis Perdomo, pitching out of a jam.
Yeah, and you said it too, getting through those big opportunities and being afforded that opportunity.
Ground ball sharply, but right to Bohr at first base, and that takes care of Schimpf. One away, and they'll bring up pinch hitter Alexei Amarista.
Well, off of that breaking ball, this was a no man's land. You see Will Myers and also Solarte battling that, and the importance of Luis Perdomo getting out of it. And Rojas with the frustration, he thought that was going to sit in short right field.
And that would have scored one run at least, and maybe two, depending on what happened after the ball dropped. So the Padres maintain their 5-3 advantage here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Luis Perdomo, his best ever effort, is 6 innings of 3 runs, 6 hits. A chance to pick up his 2nd major league win. Brandon Maurer has been throwing in the bullpen. Here's Amarista. Alexei had a couple of RBI singles last night, accounting for the only Padre runs. In between innings, Eddie Rodriguez with Perdomo.
Well, just the importance, and obviously Darren Balsley has a huge influence on Luis Perdomo, but you can see Eddie Rodriguez with the conversation after presumably Perdomo's last inning, but just constantly talking and teaching, and Luis Perdomo being that sponge and listening and learning on an everyday basis.
Yeah, Eddie Rodriguez does such a good job, and you know, he's been instrumental also for Will Myers over at first base, helping him out.
Couple of hops to the shortstop Echeverria, and he takes care of Amarista. 2 away here in the 6th. Perdomo threw 94 pitches, went 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits. He walked 1, hit 1, and struck out 4. Well, out of desperation, manager Andy Green and the Padres finding some arms. Drew Pomeranz, Christian Friedrich, Perdomo. Hopefully tomorrow night, Eric Johnson. He'll open the Washington series, his 2nd start as a Padre. Double check Perdomo. He had an intentional walk as well, so a total of 2 walks and 1 hit batsman.
Oh, what do you think of his outing?
I liked it. I really did, and that last inning really said a lot, I think. Good movement on his two-seamer. Marlin hitters were topping it at the plate. Foul balls. Ichiro had an infield single on to lead off the game on a good two-seamer or four-seamer that had some movement to it. So overall, I liked it.
John Jay has struck out, singled, and grounded to 3rd.
Well, I always look at these zeros that they can put up, and 4.
And another hit for Jay.
4 innings for Perdomo in putting up zeros. The 2 runs in the 4th, but the last 2 innings that he pitched, he put up the goose egg.
Strikeout, single, 5-3, and John Jay, he just never gives away an at-bat. Forgets about his last, whether it's a home run, a triple, whatever the case may be. At-bat by at-bat, and hopefully some 2-out thunder here so the Padres can add on.
Well, certainly one of the positive developments of this season. John Jay is a leadoff man, both with the bat and patrolling center field. Good trade. That ball hit well to right center field. Ozuna goes back, and that ball falls between the outfielders. And running all the way, here comes Jay to the plate. He'll score, and the Padres add on. Myers with a double. It looked as if the 2 outfielders didn't pick up the ball, each looking at the other as if, do you have it?
I got it, you take it.
Well, Don Mattingly is perplexed about his outfield play, and Ozuna, the outfielder, the young outfielder, just assumed that Ichiro was going to get that ball. This is shot in the gap, but as a center fielder, you have to take control over that, especially with Ichiro not playing every day as a right fielder, but to the benefit of the Padres and Will Myers.
So Myers gets his first hit and an RBI, 39th on RBI of the season. That pulls him within 4 of the leader, Matt Kemp, who steps in. He's got a single and a double today. Don't forget, with Melvin Upton getting another at bat, he's a triple shy of the cycle. Way outside, a slider. 6-3, the Padres lead here in the home half of the 6th inning.
Once again, a first pitch offering for Will Myers on that double, swinging early.
One and one. So everyone in the lineup with a base hit for the Padres, with Upton leading the way with 3, Jay and Kemp with a pair of hits. Only Ryan Schimpf without a base knock, and he has a sacrifice fly. And it goes to 2-1 to Matt Kemp. Marlins scored in the first inning. Upton's homer in the second tied it. Marlins picked up 2 in the 4th for a 3-1 lead. The Padres pecked back, made it 3-2, and then a 3-run 5th inning to take the lead, and now another bonus run here in the 6th. Pulled foul. Well, the Washington Nationals, the first of 4 games tomorrow night. Game time is 7:10. Fox Sports San Diego. Padres Live, the pregame show at 6:30. Eric Johnson against Tanner Roark. And down goes Kemp swinging. Padres do add on with 2 outs again. A Jay single and Myers a gift double, and it's 6-3. Here's our Harrah's game summary with the score 1-0 Miami. Melvin Upton, 9th home run of the season, tied it at 1 in the 2nd inning. Real Muta line single the opposite way, part of a 2-run 4th inning for the Marlins, and they led 3-1. Derek Norris, runners at 2nd and 3rd, delivers a 2-run single. And the Padres take the lead 4-3, and Upton will add on as Norris goes to 2nd on the throw to the plate. Upton goes the other way. A RBI base hit, a 2nd run driven in today, and it was 5-3 Padres. And then in the 6th inning with 2 outs, Jay singled, and the fly ball double between the outfielders with Will Myers, and it is a 6-3 game. That's our Harrah's game summary. Brandon Maurer comes in to pitch here in the 7th, and Derek Dietrich is the pinch hitter for Miami. Dietrich is having a good season. Here's Maurer's numbers.
Well, a big outing right here for Brandon Maurer here in the 7th. 3-run pad, his 33rd game. Been used quite a bit out of that Padres bullpen. Or the righties, 308. They're doing a fine job with lefties at 203.
Ahead on the count, 2 strikes to Dietrich, hitting .296. 3 homers. Ryan Ellington now throwing in the bullpen for Miami. Maurer's been fiddling with his slider. Is he adding speed or taking off speed on his slider?
I think he needs to maybe find a pitch that's kind of in between, because the slider is hard, the fastball is hard.
Back toward the mound, and Maurer over to Myers for the first down. And let's take a look at this rooftop shot looking down on Petco Park. It's brought to you by Pinnacle on the Park. 1 out in the top of the 7th, and here's Ichiro.
But if you throw a slider that has some tremendous bite to it down, I mean, I really don't think if you throw it hard, it's that big of a factor.
So Ichiro with a scratch single in the first inning to lead off the ball game, and it scored a run. And for those keeping track of Pete Rose's total, and you want to total the Japanese hit total and the major league, that Ichiro then has the same number of hits. That annoys some baseball old timers, especially Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, why don't you go back and count my hits when I was in the minor leagues in high school too. Swing and a miss, and you wonder, even from day one with Ichiro, with that wild wave, falling away, slashing away, how he's been able to deliver. I mean, his body's going away from home plate, and yet he's going to collect 3,000 major league hits.
Great hand-eye coordination, great command of the strike zone, and keeps his hands back. His body might drift, but he keeps his hands back. Here's the last swing here. See how his body's drifting, but he keeps his hands back nicely and then commits. Although he misses on that good changeup by Brandon Maurer. That was a really good changeup.
Luis Perdomo struck him out. That was a rare feat. And there again, he bounces one off home plate. And Maurer is 2 for 2 on 1-3s. Well, in the pregame show, Mike and Mark talking about the bullpen demands and how difficult it's been for the relief corps this year.
Yeah, well, they need to have the starters go deeper so they don't fry that bullpen or tax that bullpen, because you see the rankings there. The walks, second most. Opponent's average, 21st. That's a high average of 254. The ERA, though, up above 4.5. So hopefully that gets ironed out by the starters going deeper in the game.
So a couple of tappers back to the mound here to open the 7th inning as Maurer handcuffs Dietrich, the pinch hitter, and Ichiro. Prado a single and a couple of groundouts to short today. One and one. Chopper to second. Nice convenient hop for Solarte, and a 1-2-3 inning for Maurer. We go to the stretch half of the 7th at Petco with the home team up by 3. a brilliant sunny Wednesday. You almost automatically feel it's Sunday. Padres have had trouble winning on Sundays, winning day games this year, but they're ahead today, 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 20,000 Sun Splash fans here at Petco Park, 20,037. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the new pitcher for Miami is Brian Ellington, making his 5th appearance, called up from the minor leagues. So far hasn't given up a run and has picked up a victory already.
Well, this Marlins bullpen, they've got some good arms, hard throwers, mid to upper 90s. Ellington being one of them.
Wow, 98 the first toss from Ellington. Solarte fly to center, line to center, and double to left. Batting left-handed for the first time. So Solarte, Norris, and Upton, the middle three in the batting order for Andy Green here in the 7th. 6-3 San Diego. Pulled to the second baseman Rojas, over to Bohr, 1 away. Time now for our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And the Nationals coming to town. Bryce Harper, last 11 games, hasn't homered. So try to keep that going on the weekend. Daniel Murphy, he's really enjoying the Washington visit as a National, hitting .361 to lead the majors. And Max Scherzer, we'll see him on Saturday. Last 3 games, winning all 3 with a minuscule ERA. And then Sunday it'll be Pomeranz against Gio Gonzalez. Derek Norris, the key 2-run base hit back in the 5th inning, with the Padres trailing 2-1 at the time. Put them, or 3-1 at the time, put them on top with that 2-run base hit, 4-3. Then he later scored himself on Upton's single to make it 5-3. 1-1.
Derek wants that fastball back.
I was thinking the same thing.
Straight fastball as Melvin Upton Jr. waits on deck.
Single, double, home run for Upton today.
There's the four-seam fastball right down the middle, and believe me, these big league hitters, hey, if it's 97, 98, that's fine. If it's straight, Ellington's got that straight fastball. Just need to turn up the dial a little bit more.
Slicing into foul territory, a long run for 3. Marlins to no effect as that ball bounces just over the barrier and back into the happy grasp of that fan.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Well, the Padres box score, and of course that doesn't include Perdomo because he's out of the game. He had a hit as well. So 12 hits. Upton leading the way with Kemp and Jay picking up a brace of base hits. That's going to be playable right at home plate. Tough play for Real Muto, but he makes the catch, shielding that big glove away from the sun. And here comes Upton. Homered the first time. Then he doubled. Then he drove in a run with a single. Here's the home run.
Fastball gets extended outer third. The curveball down and in for the double. And what's the one thing that notices here that's really noticeable? Used in the whole field. Here's the single, fastball in. Staying on a little bit more. And via our Fox tracks, look at the direction of the hits this afternoon by Melvin Upton Jr. That's using the whole field, staying back well in the box. And he is seeing the ball extremely well this afternoon.
Never easy to collect a triple, with the best place to hit it here at Petco is out at that 396 sign in right center. Time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. And certainly Melvin Upton has had his hands on the wheel in the driver's seat today. Single, double, home run, 2 runs driven in. Last 6 games, 3 homers. He has a cycle in his bank back with Tampa against the Yankees in 2009. 1-1 to Melvin Jr.
No, he's going to have to get that front foot down a little bit earlier. Hey. Hey now. He's got to get that foot down a little earlier on that 97, 98 mile an hour fastball. 99 on that last one.
Of course, your fans know the history. Padres without a cycle until last year. Matt Kemp in Colorado. One and two.
Oh, that's some gas right there. 99 and straight.
Didn't miss by much. 2-2. The Padres are working on a string of successful victories based on being in front after 7 innings this year. They're 22-0 when leading after 7, and they've got the lead after the Marlins hitting in the 7th inning today. Stays alive. 6 runs, 12 hits for the home team, 3 runs and 6 hits for the visitors. San Diego trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game series and build some momentum toward the weekend when the first place Washington Nationals come in tomorrow night. Oh, well, he won't get the triple that way. That one clipped him. And he's on base again. That had some mustard on it.
Yeah, it sure did. This will make your heart skip a beat. Coming in hot. Gets the jersey.
And ruffles the Padre logo on the front of his uniform.
I'll tell you that. Almost unbuttoned that jersey of Melvin Upton Jr.
Able to dodge away. And here's Alexei Ramirez. Single in 3 trips today. Most stolen bases. He's on the National League leader list with 13.
He's
surveying. Billy Hamilton only 16 steals. Has he been hurt?
Kind of a down year for Cincinnati Red Leg.
Balk, and Upton won't have to steal here. He's awarded second base.
Started and stopped.
So a hit batsman in the balk. Ellington is positioned. Upton in scoring spot at second.
In contact with the pitcher's plate. A pitcher, once he starts his delivery, here, see how he's set right there. Okay, he's getting the sign. He starts just to see how he just came up just a little bit, as if he were going to go into a stretch position. He started and stopped, and that's a balk.
Just a little twitch. And a line drive in the left field corner. Will it stay fair? No. Just hooks foul. Man, that was close. Yeah, a little. That's the blind corner from the broadcast booth, and as it left our side, it looked like it was going to be good hit the line, but it was almost to the wall, the side wall.
Couldn't tell from that angle.
Straighten that one out, and the Padres can pick up another run. To the second baseman, Rojas able to leap up in spirit, and the inning comes to an end. Nothing more for the Padres after 7. The Friars smiling.
Padres lead over the Marlins here in the top of the 8th inning. Mark and I are working on Padres Live, the post-game show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communications. But first, got to take care of business on the field. We talked in the pregame show about how the bullpen had been struggling. Today's a good day to turn that around.
6 important outs. Ryan Buchter is going to get that opportunity in the 8th and hopefully get to Fernando Rodney. I want to see him shoot that arrow. Bing! Up in the sky.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well. When we see you on the post-game show, we'll break down everything that happened here. You're going to hear from Andy Green and Don Mattingly. Also get you set for the Washington Nationals, who'll be in town for 4 games, and they are minus now one of their better pitchers, an injury. We'll have to tell you all about that when we see you after the final out. Dick and Mark?
Yeah, our version of Robin Hood and Friar Tuck out there getting ready for the post-game show. Ryan Buchter comes in for the 31st time. He's been solid.
Well, you know, I was looking at last inning as, you know, usually Brandon Mauer's the 8th inning guy. Buchter we've seen in the 7th, but reversing roles today as Mauer went in the 7th. But as you look at the lefty-righty-lefty combo right here, it works out for the lefty, Ryan Buchter.
Yelich, and then goes into the right-handed batter, then Boer, the lefty. Trying to give Fernando Rodney, as the guy suggested, a chance to pick up another save. Yelich knocked in a run in the first inning when the game opened. The Marlins came out swinging. Ichiro, Prado, Yelich, single for an early 1-0 lead. Then a key double play. Foul tip, 1-2.
You know, we talk about pleasant surprises during the course of a season, and the kid on the hill right now is a pleasant surprise. Kind of kid you root for. Last year pitched in 1 game for the Braves in relief. He got the win. Now he's a Padre and helping out that bullpen.
Just hard to believe that no one saw this talent, or he didn't reveal it throughout a minor league career. It's one of those lifers that hangs on, and finally at age 29 he gets a chance to be a big leaguer, and he's taking full advantage of this opportunity. Nine years in the minors, and then came up for that 1 game in Atlanta. Check swing, he went, and that's a strikeout for the southpaw Buchter. One away as Yelich takes the long walk, and that'll bring up Marcell Ozuna.
Took a 4-seamer up, can't hold it. Put him away quickly. And the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer, points on the swing. He got
33rd round selection by the Washington Nationals 11 years ago, Buchter. It's interesting too when you look at his minor league record combined. He was 34 and 18. He had an ERA of 3.26 in all those years, and no one gave him really a big chance until this season, the Padres. They thought enough of him to put him on the 40-man major league roster for spring training. Good call. Sharply hit and through into left center field. A 1-out single for Ozuna, and that'll take us to our Fan Diego fan, or fans of the game, the youngsters.
Shouldn't you guys be in school? Oh, you gotta love it. Just let out all that energy. Yeah.
Go home and do the dishes.
Right. Good for them. And, you know, day at the ball yard, you bet. That's great.
Chris Johnson, a veteran infielder, first baseman in this series, pinch hitting for Boer, and will replace him at first base. Johnson last night knocked in a run on an infield hit to short. He also walked 1 for 3. That was the big infield hit in the first inning. Got the first run home, and then bases still loaded. Mathis came up and slugged a grand slam. 2-0. ripped to third. And Shrimp there to make the catch. Oh, quick reactions by Schimpf. That ball was a laser to his glove.
In a good athletic stance, the laser. And just in case, checking that runner over at first base to see if he can double him up. Ryan Schimpf, now a big leaguer at 28. It's a great story.
Yeah, his story is parallel to the pitcher, Ryan Buchter. Lifetime minor leaguer, and finally 28-29 they make it to the big time. Real Muto singled in a run to right field in the fourth inning. That'll be out of play. You know, eighth innings can be interesting, and there certainly was a one on this day.
Yeah.
In 1925, the Philadelphia A's played the Cleveland Indians, and they were trailing 15-4 in the eighth inning.
Right.
The A's, they scored 13 runs in the eighth inning.
Wow.
I'm not suggesting that should happen today.
That's bearing down right there.
Yeah, they won 17-15. That's a bad day at the ball yard.
Was that a Connie Mack team? It had to be, right?
Sure, sure.
He wore a suit.
Wore a suit, yeah, and a straw hat. Wonder if Andy Green would go for that.
It's the only sport, right, where the manager or head coach wears the uniform.
Yeah. Some even wear the spikes. High pop up. That'll be a souvenir off to the left.
Bobby Cox wore the nails in the dugout.
That would be interesting if other sports, the manager or the head man wore the uniform. Can you imagine the NHL with coach behind the bench and all loaded up with pads? So here's the look. You might want to buy your tickets based on the pitch you want to see. Tomorrow night it's Rourke of the Nationals against Eric Johnson. Then on Friday night you'll see, oh, look who it is. Joe Ross, the Padre that was traded, part of the Will Myers deal. He's having a good year, 5-4, Tyson's younger brother, against Christian Friedrich. And there's Max Scherzer on Saturday against Ray, and Gio Gonzalez and Pomerantz will duel on Sunday. Yeah, you'll enjoy seeing Joe Ross pitch. He looks like the real deal. Padres knew that. He was a high pick. And Tyson continues to move farther and farther on his long tosses and ready for some bullpens. Can't wait to get him back in gear. 2-2 now to Real Muto.
Can I just notice? I mean, I've seen some pictures of me when I was younger in pitching. Look at when you take a look. Oh, he's in a little hunched over now, but his right shoulder, and I think this is common for a lot of pitchers. His right shoulder was lower than his left shoulder. And I remember seeing photos in a lot of pitchers, especially right-handers. If the right shoulder will kind of droop a little bit. Just through years and years of just throwing and throwing and throwing.
Well, you remember the old Sports Challenge show of mine, we had the mystery guest at the end. It was in a silhouette.
Right.
And Tommy Henrik, we just said, and here's our mystery guest. He pushes the buzzer without even a clue. He says, Warren Spahn. Then you looked at the silhouette, and there was Spahn with his left arm in silhouette hanging much lower.
Know exactly what I'm talking about. Look how the right shoulder there is lower than the left shoulder.
2-2 coming up to Real Muto, and another foul. It's quite a battle here. We're in the top of the eighth inning, 2 outs. The Marlins trailing the Padres 6-3. Ozuna with a single at first base. How about the news? Will Venable signs with the Dodgers. Need some outfield help, and they release Carl Crawford.
Yeah.
Another pop fly foul. Those are the high pop fouls you don't want to call for those. You just wait for somebody else to try to break the fall and scramble under a seat and get it. Dressed for the party, he gets one. Count still level at 2-2. 21st pitch of the inning for Buchter. And another pop fly, this one in fair territory. Myers fighting the sun. And he needed that big glove to take care of business. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Padres 6, the Marlins 3. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, your complete pet store, and by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. The home team with a 6-3 lead over the Marlins comes up in the bottom of the 8th inning. A new pitcher for Miami is Mike Dunn. Chris Johnson stays in the game at first base. And Dunn will face Schimpf, the pitcher spot, and John Jay.
Well, it wouldn't hurt for the Padres to get a little insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. Only the 7th game for Mike Dunn. 6 strikeouts in those 4+ frames. And Mike Dunn throws a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, curveball. This lefty's low 90s.
Schimpf with no hits today, but a sacrifice fly. His first major league RBI. Flied out and grounded out. Well, if the Padres do get another insurance run, that would take Rodney away from a save. So the Padres will have 2 men getting loose in the pen. 1-1. Christian Bethancourt on deck, pitcher spot next. Giants now lead Milwaukee 8-1 in the 7th. Dodgers with a 3-2 lead at Arizona in the 8th. Colorado. Well, they switched the scoreboard on me. I'll give you the Colorado score when we're running through the American League schedule for tonight. 2 balls and a strike. Colorado beats the Yankees, so Rockies playing pretty well, aren't they? They're now 32-33 on the season. They started today 8 games back of the Giants. High fly ball slicing toward the foul line and left. Easing over is Yelich. 1 away. And Luis Perdomo, 6 solid innings, 94 pitches of work. He had 4 strikeouts, allowed only 6 hits, 3 runs. Stands to pick up his 2nd big league win.
and tended to look very comfortable out there on the hill. 94 pitch effort. You know, the one thing that sticks out for me, Dick, is the movement of that fastball. Two-seamer and four-seamer, getting some grounders and getting some foul balls right around home plate. Means there's late life, mixing in some sliders and some changeups as well. So, hey, the ceiling is very high for Luis Perdomo.
Strikes out a man that rarely goes out on strikes, and that's Ichiro. Final in that Rockies game was 6-3 over the Yankees. All the American League action, limited schedule is tonight. 0-2 to Bethancourt. John Jay waits his turn on deck. Another foul. Some good cuts by the Padre catcher. Marlins, after the game today, fly back to South Florida, off tomorrow, and then open a series against the Rockies. Then Atlanta and the Cubs come in on a long homestand. Padres, after the 4 games with the Nationals on the weekend, will fly out on Father's Day to Baltimore, off day in Baltimore, 3 there, and then to Cincinnati. We'll be there for Pete Rose's induction into the Cincinnati Hall of Fame on Saturday.
Right. The hit king.
2-2.
Heavy dose of pitches inside.
Ripped to left center field, and it falls for a base hit. Off the bat, looked like it might be up the alley, but he got it out on the end of the bat. And Bethancourt in single, 13 hits for the Padres today.
All rise. Bethancourt is now in session. Fought that one off nicely, and it's nice to see guys come off the bench and get a big league knock.
So 1-out single. Bethancourt, here's the top of the order, and John Jay, pair of hits, 2 for 4, single in the 2nd inning, make it the 3rd, and a single and scored in the 6th. Jay had a 2 for 4 game going last night with a couple of doubles. Hiking his average currently to 290. One and one. Well, he hasn't entered the game today, but we certainly want to wish Travis Jankowski a happy birthday. He's 25.
You know, when he comes up to me in the clubhouse, he goes, "Hey, Mud, happy birthday." I said, "It's not my birthday." He goes, "I know, but it's mine."
Runner goes. A throw to second base is in time. A race. Bethancourt trying to surprise steal. Good throw by Real Muto.
Oh, that was a real strong throw. Kind of a short lead for Bethancourt. Very quick with the release, very quick with the feet. And we might get a review here. Is the tag late?
Yeah, he gets him there on the back of the calf. Right there.
I don't know if the glove made contact with him.
And the umpire saying, "Come on, are you going to challenge or not?"
Earmuffs.
Now watch the back of the calf as he makes a slide. Right there. Of course, it's hidden by that angle. But he continues on with the tag, and then the second effort up on the thigh. Yes, that was late. You think he's safe? I think he's out.
All right.
Let's see. Let's see what the folks in New York
Let's get the clock going. Now the key is, like any time there's a close call like this, will they have a definitive angle?
Didn't take him any time at all. They've already said he's out.
That's one for you, Professor.
Let's see, that's my first one in what, 5 years? So 2 away. The count on Jay is 2-1.
Court is adjourned.
Do I have to rise again? Foul tip, 2-2. Well, in the 9th inning, the Marlins have the bottom of the order scheduled. Echeverria, Rojas, the pitcher's spot. And unless the Padres come up with something here with 2 outs, it looks as if Rodney will be in. Hangs that one high, 3-2. Will Myers hoping he gets a chance to swing the bat. Alexandria is wearing the big smile today. She picked Melvin Upton and picked the stick.
Good for her.
So it's 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points for Julie. Ooh. She's scratching her way up to, she might be in first place. Ball 4 too low, and a 2-out walk to Jay. Jose Fernandez, one of the best. Look at that home record. He had a string of what, in the 20s at one time. The Padres, I think, ended that. Much tougher at home.
Yeah, this is since the return from Tommy John surgery.
And the meeting at the mound of the 4 umpires. And one of the umpires thought the count was in error. I think the stadium count, the scoreboard count was off, but we had that as a 3-2 pitch. Yeah. So umpires are satisfied. It was a correct count, and ball 4 it is to John Jay. So Will Myers does get to swing the bat. He's flied out twice, grounded to short, and hit a drive to right center between Ozuna and Ichiro. And
well, Tim Wallach is emphatically saying to Don Mattingly that that's only ball 3. Tim Wallach, the bench coach, was on the phone to the clubhouse, and I'm guessing that they were watching something, but he emphatically said 3.
And I think Real Muto just told his manager, yeah, he went through the sequence and convinced him that that was indeed ball 4. Little embarrassing for the men in blue. Maybe that's, that confusion shouldn't happen, but it does.
Yeah.
So Mattingly is satisfied that Jay's walk was not in error, and Myers gets to swing. And a strike. $20,037 on a sunny Wednesday in downtown San Diego.
I remember one year at Qualcomm, they actually started playing the 4th out. There were 3 outs in the inning. The hitter came up to the plate. A pitch was thrown, and it was like, started yelling. And everybody said, hey, whoa, 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 that's 3 outs. And sure enough, a hitter actually came up to the plate and it was the visiting team who was hitting. And I can't remember who it was, but I remember seeing that. Talk about seeing crazy stuff at the ball.
Did you do one of your spring training show down there and help them out?
That'd be a little hard during the regular season. I'm far away.
You could try. A ball and a strike to Myers. Ball fell between Ozuna and Ichiro. Could have been caught, but landed cleanly for a double last time up. 2-1. Dunn gets it up there. 95, 97. And 3-1. Well, Don Orsillo will take over tomorrow night as we're going to fly back to Boston for the memorial services for Bud Collins, and you can bet some of the eulogies are going to be very amusing. There are a lot of great stories about Arthur Bud Collins.
I loved listening to you guys as a kid doing tennis.
He's a great man. He was the encyclopedia of the sport, and he wrote the encyclopedia of tennis.
Wow.
Swing and a miss. 3-2.
You know why I liked him so much is because I loved his enthusiasm, and he was a fan. I mean,
oh yeah,
I loved his grunting and his you know.
Had a great sense of humor. He's a brilliant man, and he played tennis, but he played barefooted.
Did he really?
Yeah. If you played him, kind of intimidating. You know, he said, "You want to play?" I remember we were down at the Family Circle Cup in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and says, after the matches, we're off the air. You want to go play? You know, a set or two? I said, yeah. I'd never played him. Go out there and he's running around the clay barefooted.
I was just going to say, what kind of surface? Clay?
Clay. But he would, you know, hard courts too. And he had, as you could imagine, everything had spin on it. I mean, he loved to just dink and dunk and twist and turn. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Myers is gone, and so are the Padres in the 8th, and we will welcome in the 9th inning Fernando Rodney, working on a string of 22 1/3 innings without allowing an earned run all season long. Can he blank the Marlins in the 9th? Coming up.
Chance for the Padres to win the last game of the series, and how are they going to do that? Well, hopefully the closer, Fernando Rodney, can do just that and preserve the 6-3 win. And here we go. Fernando Rodney, the success? Well, he throws the fastball, we know, but how about the changeup? Part of the reason why he's only given up 8 hits in 22 1/3 innings pitched. He can make guys look really sick with that changeup. Pull the cord, parachute ball, keeps them way off balance. So when you mix in 95, 96, and then the big differential, the changeup, yeah, hopefully he reaches into that quiver and shoots that arrow.
Most consecutive scoreless innings to start a season, 22 1/3 this year, is the most in Padres history. So here we are on June 15th, 2.5 months into the season. He hasn't been used as often as he'd like, but has not given up an earned run. One run was unearned. And here he goes to work on the bottom 3 of the order for the Marlins.
Well, he's had 5 days rest. Last time out was against the Rockies. It was an inning. He struck out 1 Rocky.
Echeverria, the young Cuban, a single, an intentional walk and a ground out. .92 on his first fastball. Rojas scheduled next, and then the pitcher's spot in the top of the 9th. And a solid single back up the middle. Ramirez couldn't quite get there. So Echeverria gets the Marlins' hopes up with a leadoff single here in the 9th.
4-seam fastball away. Echeverria gets extended off the end of the bat. Almost one-hands this ball. Let's see where Ramirez is playing. The one hopper by him. Boy, judging by that reaction, seems like Alexei thinks he should have had that one.
Cole Gillespie will be the pinch hitter for Miguel Rojas. Rojas sacrifice fly 0 for 2 in the game. Gillespie, a .265 hitter. As a pinch hitter this year, he's 1 for 12. And there he is, Giancarlo Stanton. So the one thing that Ronnie wants to do here is make sure that if Stanton comes up, there's not 2 men on base.
Also notice that Stanton is wearing the helmet with the cage, the protective cage, to protect that jaw area.
Or maybe just psychologically wearing that all last year, and then put it back on just in, thinking, okay, I'm protected more.
That's a good point.
Maybe a lot of that is after being hit in the face, he's doing some things that are unnatural. High fly, center field. Jay with an easy chance. First out. And it's time now for the Carl's Jr. star of the game, and it is Melton Upton Jr. Got the Padres a tie with a home run in the 2nd inning. Doubled and scored in the 4th inning. And to add to the fun, lined an RBI single in the 5th inning. Also hit by a pitch, a perfect 3 for 3 afternoon for Melvin Upton, our Carl's Jr. star of the game.
That's a great day in the big leagues.
Now here's Stanton. He was Mike Stanton when we first saw him in the major leagues, and that's the name he used in high school up in the San Fernando Valley. Giancarlo, a family name.
I love it. I love the Giancarlo. I really do.
I wonder if he can sing. I wonder if nice Italian aria. He does with a bat on occasion. And he hits a lot of high notes. So keep the ball down and away. Ooh, in tight. 95 miles an hour on that fastball.
Is that cage in the form of a G? Did you see that on the front of it for Giancarlo?
Oh, he bends away from the breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
See the G right there? And I understand from Mike Pomerantz, he found out that it is in fact personalized for him, incorporating the G in that cage.
The ball, 2 strikes. Uh-oh, look at how far this one goes. It's going to be foul, but goodness, way up into the 3rd tier, almost on the top deck of the Western Metal Supply Company building. Did that go out of the yard?
That ball was crushed.
I mean, he's got Goliath strength. Oh my goodness. right in between the stands and the brick side of the Western Metal Supply Company building. You could chop that up into 8 singles. Just a long foul. Ground ball to third, could be 2. There's 1 and a hold. Do they get one? Yes. Pulled off the bag was Solarte, and he alertly was able to catch the ball, keep it out of right field, and get an out. That was a big effort by Solarte.
Well, that's why as a base runner, you got to go hard. A hard slide into second base is the force play. He's drawn off the bag, and you can see Echeverria, he was kind of peeling off a little bit. You know, the rule states that you got to go hard into the bag and not divert away from the bag. If he goes straight into the bag for a nice slide, he's probably safe.
Well, that's it.
See how he veered off?
Big
and came
snare.
back.
What a big snare, though, by Solarte. That ball was headed to right field. So that gives Ichiro another at bat. Stanton safe on the fielder's choice. 2 out. Infield hit. A couple of bouncers back to the mound, and a strikeout for Ichiro today. With Ichiro up there and 2 outs in the 9th inning. Keys to the game brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego.
Well, limit the early damage. 1 run on 3 hits in the first inning and get an early lead. They trailed it 3-1 after 3.5. But they fought back. 1 out to go.
Solid B for you, Mark Grant.
Thank you, sir.
Ichiro, if you're just joining us, with his infield hit to start the game. You total up his hits both in Japan and the United States. They come out right at Pete Rose's number. .4,256. We were curious as to who holds the all-time hit record in the Japanese league. Isao Hiramoto, 3,085. There are 29 major leaguers in the U.S. who collected 3,000 hits in their career. And there's another one for Ichiro into the right field corner. Stanton on the run to third, and he'll hold there. No intelligence there at third to try to get him to score, but the big story is that Ichiro has another hit, and for those and I'm sure the Japanese fans especially, and his dugout standing and cheering Ichiro as he now, in his incredible major league career, actually has collected more hits than Pete Rose if you count 2 different countries. And the fans here with a big hand for Ichiro. 4,257. He's an amazing athlete. 42 years of age. He said he might play till 50.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, he said he's in great shape.
Yeah, he is.
He's sitting around 350. Now 2nd and 3rd, and with 2 outs, tying run at the plate, Martin Prado. Prado, a single and 3 groundouts, 1 for 4. They had a little extra on that fastball. So Rodney's string of now 23 consecutive innings without allowing a run endangered, with men at 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Ichiro at 2nd, Stanton at 3rd. Padres with a 6-3 lead. Pops him up, right field, shallow. Kemp waits. Padres win 6-3. right there in the upper deck. He says that's where you want to aim. Another save for Rodney, and his scoreless streak continues. 6-3 win for the Padres. Mike Pomerantz.
Well, thank you very much, Dick. What more can I see on the post-game show? We'll talk about Luis Perdomo's evening, also Don Mattingly and Andy Green. We'll talk to you, and we get you set for the National Series beginning tomorrow.